Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Triangle Center for Spirituals Living's Sunday celebration service. We begin with a meditation. My name is Carol Cross. My pronouns are she and her, and I am one of the licensed practitioners here at TCSL. So yesterday was the International Day of Peace, and I spent a lot of time praying and meditating and reflecting on peace yesterday. And one of the quotes that I saw that I was really inspired by was by a former president who wasn't in alignment with all of my political beliefs, but this was Ronald Reagan. And he said, peace is not an absence of conflict. It is a peaceful means to resolving conflict. And I think that's very, very wise, because on a daily basis, the person I have the most conflict with in all of my life is my son. And we have spirited discussions about conflicts we have, both big and small. But he's also the person, well, there's certainly nobody else I love more than I love my son. So love does not necessarily come without conflict. But the question is, how do we resolve that conflict? Trying to resolve our conflicts here on this physical plane through loving and peaceful means. And it really brought to mind our history of our country. In World War I, we won the war, but we lost the peace. And that is because we weren't really waging peace. We were waging war. And our repressive and punitive policies towards the losers of that conflict contributed to the environment that brought forth Hitler and Mussolini and fascism and Nazism. And part of it was because we as a country were not waging peace. And I contrast that to World War II, where after World War II, we learned something. We can do things differently. And so we had the Marshall Plan. And the Marshall Plan gave, in modern times, it would have been $100 billion to rebuild Europe. And we didn't just rebuild our friends. The largest amount of money, or single amount, went to England, second more to France. But in modern times, modern dollars, we gave $10 billion to Germany and to Italy to help them restore their country. And we had a similar thing called the Dodge program in Japan, where we gave them money to help them restructure and modernize their economy. That was waging peace. That was not holding somebody down, beating someone down for what had come before, but lifting them up. And here we are. It's only been 80 years. And look at what good allies, what friends we have with Germany and Italy and Japan. So that is, really my lesson that I would like us to take into meditation. Take a couple of deep breaths to get centered. Because America is not like some monolithic thing. America is us. It is each one of us. And so to this morning, I invite you and me and all of us to look into our hearts and see if and how we are waging peace, and if and how we might be able to wage peace even better. So it's time to get back into your body. And I'm going to wrap up today's meditation with a poem by American poet Judith Hill, although it's often attributed to Mary Oliver. And it's a poem that she wrote on September 11th, as I think, her gift of peace and love to a world that was horrified that day by violence and conflict. And the name of the poem is Wage Peace. Wage peace with your breath. Breathe in firemen and rubble. Breathe out whole buildings and blocks of red-winged blackbirds. Breathe in terrorists and breathe out sleeping children and freshly mown fields. Breathe in confusion and breathe out maple trees. Breathe in the fallen and breathe out lifelong friendships intact. Wage peace with your listening. Hearing sirens, pray loud. Remember your tools, flower seeds, clothespins, clean rivers. Make soup. Play music. Memorize the words for thank you in 3 languages. Learn to knit and make a hat. Think of chaos as dancing raspberries. Imagine grief as the outbreath of beauty or the gesture of fish. Swim for the other side. Wage peace. Never has the world seemed so fresh and precious. Have a cup of tea and rejoice. Act as if armistice had already arrived. Celebrate today. And so it is. So speaking of celebration, our celebration service main event starts at 10:15. So you have just enough time to go make yourself that cup of tea and rejoice for a few minutes. And then we'll see you back here at 10:15. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us this morning.
light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. Cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy. I just wanna shout. One life living is you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. Cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. Cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy. I just wanna shout. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. Cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. Cause God is all there is. Oh yeah. Come on. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. Cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. Cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy. I just wanna shout. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. Cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. Cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy. I just wanna shout. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. Cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. Cause God is all there is.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. I was loving watching that video. That fall leaves were so beautiful. They're on their way, y'all. They're on their way. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Dusty Ripplemeyer, and I use the pronouns she and her. This is the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living, and I have the joy and the honor of being the spiritual director and the senior minister. And I love what I do. I absolutely love what I do. I love our community, and I'm so grateful that all of you have chosen to join us today through the power of live streaming. It doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while, 4 Points has some huge event and they need all of their meeting rooms. And so then we have to be only online. And so I'm so grateful for the technology that allows us to do that, and so grateful for the flexibility of each and every single one of you. Thank you so very much for being here this morning.
The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that honors all paths and promotes global transformation through personal transformation. We're a spiritual community that can support you as you strive to experience a personal relationship with God. A spiritual community where you are respected and accepted just for who you are, a space and place for inspiration, insight, and revelation, as well as loving support to grow into your highest and best self. You are welcome here no matter where you are on your path. We are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living, which is a global community of over 450 spiritual centers, teaching chapters, and special focus ministries in 30 countries worldwide. Centers for Spiritual Living is a practical and positive philosophy, faith, and way of life that is dedicated to transforming lives by providing powerful spiritual principles and practices for our individual lives and for exploring new possibilities to assist the world to become a world that works for all. So once again, I'm so grateful that you have joined us today. In this moment, I have some really big shoes to fill, those of Sean Shockey, as I do our morning announcements. The first one is that our Wednesday evening services throughout 2024 are called Beyond Sunday. We do them on Zoom at 7 o'clock, and the link is available on our Wednesday newsletter or on our website. Join us for one more Wednesday evening in September for the completion of our in-depth look at a book called The Art of Power by world-renowned Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh. Next month, we will be taking a deeper dive into peace by looking at some selected readings from our founder, Ernest Holmes, and other peace leaders throughout the ages. Gathering the readings from a number of different sources, Heather Abbott will be facilitating the conversations. Again, the service begins at 7 o'clock, and it is on Zoom, and the link is on the Wednesday newsletter and on our website. Number 2, this is an update to our Gourmets for God announcement. We have sold 83 seats to 9 awesome events this year. Yay. We still have seats open for 4 events. October 18th, Campfire Sing-Along and Ribs. November 2nd, Wine Tasting and Small Plates. November 8th, Game Night and Wings. November 10th, Jewelry Crafting and Sandwiches. Now, I am sure that 1 or 2 of those piqued your interest a little bit. And besides, right, you're going to be with our community, and what could be more fun than that? So buy a seat or seats by submitting the form with your name and how many seats you're buying for that event. Now, those form is online, and you can access that through our website. And there are some discussions about the events, and then there's a line, and it says your answer under each photo. Now, you just put how many seats you want underneath there, and you submit this form by the deadline for the events. So I think maybe about a week out from each event would be the deadline for each one of the events. Different because they're all on different nights. Don't wait. Seats are first come, first serve. You will be notified and given instructions on how to make payments for your seats. Submit any and all questions about the events or about your participation to info@trianglecsl.org. Please consider joining us for one or more of these wonderful events. You'll be very glad that you did. I promise. Number 3, typically our lunch bunch celebration of the monthly birthdays is held on the first Sunday of the month. We have a special workshop on the first Sunday in October, so we will be celebrating at a very special lunch bunch on Sunday, September 9th, all of the October birthdays. So if you have an October birthday, or you simply want to celebrate those people in our community that have an October birthday, please join us next Sunday, September 29th, for our lunch bunch for the October birthdays. Number 4, on the first Sunday of October, I just mentioned that we're having a very special book signing and workshop. That's Sunday, October 6th. We're celebrating our beloved Reverend Andy Ross's new book called Religion, A Theology for the Here and Now. The invitation is to join mystic, theologian, and all-around cool guy, Reverend Andy Ross, for an in-depth look at the phenomenon of religion. From experience to practice, the Spirit guides us in so many distinct ways. Where does religion come from and where is it going? And most importantly, what is your religion? Let's take a deep dive and see where the Spirit takes us. You'll laugh, you'll think, and hey, you might even learn something. Oh, and you get a copy of the book. The workshop is from 12:15 until 2 o'clock. Bring a sack lunch or grab something from a nearby restaurant and break bread with your community beforehand. The cost is a suggested $25 love offering. Number 5, we're excited to announce another workshop, an upcoming workshop that promises to be a truly transformative experience. The workshop is called A Journey of the Senses, Breathwork and Sound Bath. It's a unique collaboration between Mandala Breathwork and Atma Prima Holistic, and is designed to guide you through a deeply immersive journey of self-discovery and healing. The workshop blends the therapeutic power of neural dynamic breathwork and the soothing, restorative energy of a sound bath. Ooh, can you just imagine? I can feel it right now. I got all tingly just talking about it. You'll be gently guided through meditative exercises, rhythmic drumming, and a breathwork journey that dives into the subconsciousness, all the while being enveloped in the healing vibration of crystal bowls, gong, and more. The workshop offers a unique opportunity to release what no longer serves you, reconnect you with your inner guides, and emerge feeling renewed, balanced, and inspired. This is your journey and your invitation to join a community of like-minded individuals on a journey of profound healing and self-discovery. The workshop will be held on Sunday, October 13th from 1 o'clock to 4:30 at 4 Points by Sheridan. The cost is $80. I think it sounds amazing. If you have need of any more information and to register, which you have to do, you're required to pre-register, and you can visit, in order to do that, you can visit Mandala Breathwork at mandalabreathwork.com. Advance registration and payments are required. Registration ends on October 11th. So please get your spot for that, because I think it's going to be truly amazing. And lastly, join us on Sunday, October 20th for our TCSL Fall Community Town Hall meeting. We will be talking about all things centered, from focus groups to home groups to wins and changes and finances. It's an opportunity to listen, to question, and to share your thoughts and ideas. The meeting will be held directly after service at 12 o'clock until 2 o'clock. Please bring a sack lunch or grab something at a nearby restaurant and break bread with each other before the meeting. I would also like to take a moment to thank Carol Cross for her beautiful meditation. Thank you so very much, Carol. It has expanded the container that our service will unfold within. So thank you so very much for that. Speaking of Carol, let's please welcome her back to the stage.
Hello, everyone. The theme for the year 2024 is a grand rising. Our theme for the month of September is pieces into peace. Reverend Marie's message is intentional life matters. Imagine peace. I am now going to read this community's purpose statement. This is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. So now we're going to take a moment to center ourselves. I invite you to close your outer eyes and let the healing sounds of the crystal bowls just wash over you. So now it's time to come back and open your eyes because you don't want to miss this next portion. It's one of our favorite traditions here at TCSL, the blessing of all faiths.
The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths, as represented by this ceremony. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Science of mind and spirit is the path of the divine principle of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere, with no exception. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. And so it is.
And so it is. So now I ask you to close your eyes and join me as I say a word of blessing on today's divine gathering. So there's a lot of things I don't know, but one thing I do know is that there is one power and presence in this planet. One source, one substance, one energy, one everythingness. And that is spirit. just like it shows up in many different ways. It goes by many different names. But there is a divine unity to all life, to all substance, to all energy, to all vibration in this universe. And that vibration is one of peace. It is one of love. It's one of unity, connection, beauty, abundance. Good. It is all good. And when we fail to recognize that, that is a failure of our human perspective, not a denial of the divine truth. And so it is from that place of unity, that place of connection, not only with each other, but with the awesome power that is the truth of all being in this universe. I call forth this day as a magnificent day, as we all rise to that divine level within each one of us. So I say a word of blessing on our AV angels, even Heather. They just do their magic with such love and confidence. And I say a word of blessing on our minister, Reverend Dusty, as she spreads her loving arms all around us, even if we can't be together physically. I say a word of blessing on our musician, Karen Daly. She's a heartbreaker, but in a good way. Because we all sometimes need our hearts to be broken to let the love and the wisdom come in. And speaking of love and wisdom, I say a word of blessing on our guest speaker, Reverend Marie Kirkland. She is a member of our extended TCSL community, and it's always a gift to have her with us again, knowing that she will be a conduit for spirit to speak in the way that we need to hear. And I say a word of blessing on all of our congregation, everyone who participates in this ceremony. Those that we cannot see through the cameras, but whose energy, whose unique vibration, unique individualized expression of the divine also contributes to this magnificent morning. And for all of that, I am so grateful. There's no better place to be than in a circle of divine beings. So, knowing that that is the truth of today, I turn it over to the law that always says yes and ask you to join me with our words, and so it is. All right, so our reading for today is from Reverend Scott Aubrey, and he says, creation is a sacred encounter. A person must have an idea before she can bring it into manifestation. When we build a house, we build it first in mind. We have the idea of a house, complete the plan in mind, and then we work it out in manifestation. The idea back of music is harmony. The idea back of the flower is beauty. The idea back of day is light. The idea back of peace is love. The first step in creation is the awakening to the spiritual consciousness, the dawning of light in mind, the perception of truth through the quickening of spirit. This is the creative evolutionary process of God. Underlying all creation is the divine idea of life, of love, life expressed in divine order. So, I know we can't wait to hear Reverend Marie speak on that. But first, we have to invite in our heartbreaker who will soften us up so that we are truly a welcome field for all of the seeds of truth that Reverend Marie will sprinkle upon us. So please join me in giving a great, big, loving welcome to Karen Daly.
Thank you, Carol. I don't want to fight no more. Only want to get to shore. Please don't slam the door tonight. We ran another off the tracks. That's time we can't get back. But we can save tomorrow if we try. And oh, well, till we make this right. Whoa, well, I won't say goodnight, 'cause I just want to make you laugh. And I just want to see that smile. You know we're only here, oh, for a little while. And I just want to hold you till you fall asleep. I want love, I want us, I want you, I want me, and I want peace. Everybody needs a place, somewhere that's warm and safe, shelter from this crazy world we're in. But tonight I let the rain inside. I took away a place to hide. I'm sorry that I made you cry again. But oh, well, till we make this right. Whoa, well, I won't say goodnight, 'cause I just want to make you laugh. And I just want to see that smile. You know we're only here, oh, for a little while. And I just want to hold you till you fall asleep. I want love, I want us, I want you, I want me, and I want peace. Yeah, I want peace. And oh, well, till we make this right. Whoa, well, I won't say goodnight, 'cause I just want to make you laugh. And I just want to see that smile. You know we're only here, oh, for a little while. And I just want to hold you till you fall asleep. I want love, I want us, I want you, I want me. I want love, I want us, I want you, I want me. I want love, I want us, I want you, I want me, and I want peace.
Woo! Absolutely beautiful, Karen. Thank you so very much. I echo that. I want peace. I know that many of you will recognize our guest speaker today. Reverend Marie Kirkland is an ordained minister with the Centers for Spiritual Living and the founder and spiritual director of the Living Aligned Focus Ministry. Her life's work is centered around the harmonious fusion of practical spirituality and intentional living. Through sacred circles, she empowers individuals and spiritual communities to align with their highest vision and purpose as they share their meaningful work in the world. Reverend Marie is the author of Intentional Life Matters, The Art of Spiritual Renewal and Slower Living, which is coming out in September of 2025. Yes, how exciting is that? And equally as important as all of that is that she is a longtime supporter of our community and my beloved friend. Please welcome Reverend Marie Kirkland.
Good morning. Good morning, Triangle CSL. It is always so good to be here with you, and especially during this month of peace. How wonderful it is to be here. As I think about the title of my talk, Intentional Life Matters, Imagine Peace, I lean into this affirmation and the words of the song about peace. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. When I think about a consciousness of peace, because I'm a word person, it's always important to kind of get an idea of what each word means. And so I think about peace and a consciousness of peace. And I think of peace of mind, a state of tranquility and serenity, peace in the body of our lives, a state of mutual harmony between people or groups, especially in personal relationships, and most importantly, with the relationship of ourselves, and harmony in the lives that we've created in our work in the world, and peace on earth. Those peace initiatives that Carol was speaking about earlier, and the non-warring conditions of a nation or a group of nations or the world, peace on earth. So peace, what does it mean to imagine peace, especially when life or the world feels like it's in pieces, right? When we think of the word intentional as an intentional life matters, we understand that the act of mentally determining a course of action, we understand that that's what it is, but we must also recognize that living with intention means being present in each moment and aligning our actions with our highest values and our spiritual principles. Now, Ernest Holmes shared that when we fully focus on an idea or a thought, we naturally bring it into our lives, and our thoughts shape our reality and become our experiences. So let's focus on peace. Now, as we know, peace is not just a destination. It's a state of being that we cultivate intentionally. And it begins with each of us. As I shared, let peace begin with me. Let it begin with me. And so as it begins with each of us, each individually, it's rooted in our thoughts, in our actions. And as we imagine peace within, that peace expands to the body of our lives and into our world, the world around us. It reverberates outward. And so as we explore today's theme of imagining peace, our invitation today is to experience how we can move from pieces to peace through 5 pathways of intentional living. And those 5 pathways are spirituality, caring for ourselves, self-care, nourishing our soul, soul care, self-reflection, and slower living. So I invite you to take a breath and go within and join me right where you are as we imagine 3 ideas of peace: peace of mind, peace in the body of our lives, and peace on earth. Let's take that breath together. So let's begin with peace of mind. If we want to imagine peace on earth, it must begin and be first present in our own minds. So now I'm going to kind of take you back to some of my previous talks. This is usually the time when I would reintroduce you to Maya the young painter who lives in a village far, far away with the mountains on one side and the ocean on the other side. And we would join her on a metaphysical journey into peace. However, inspired by my last talk when I was here last October, where Maya discovered the power of standing in the paradox of authenticity and vulnerability, I'm inspired today to share with you 2 personal stories in no particular order about finding peace, how I found peace in my own life, because living an intentional life matters. So I'm going to take a breath as I simply take myself back to June of last year, in the early morning hours, as I was preparing to speak with my prayer partner. And it was June 21st, as a matter of fact. I found myself as I was walking down the stairs, and she had already called, and I got up out of the bed and with my cell phone in my hand, and I'm walking down the stairs. And as I'm walking, I discovered that I couldn't feel the left side of my body. I said, I can't feel the left side of my body. I don't know what's going on. And my prayer partner, who is a retired nurse, we began to have this conversation, a retired nurse and a practitioner. We began to have this conversation, and we talked about caring for myself and caring for the moment and being present. And of course, she invited me that I needed to get to the hospital. And what followed was a little bit of procrastination, because I did not go that day, but I went 2 days later. But what followed was a whirlwind of hospitalization and fear, yes, fear, and wondering what in the heck was going on, and in physical therapy and speech therapy and countless medical appointments. And in that process, what I recognized was my state of being and the pieces. When we speak about pieces into peace, sometimes they look like different things. And in this moment and during this period of time, these pieces look like the expression of a stroke that was occurring in my body temple. And so as I was going through the therapy and still connecting with my friends and loved ones, I noticed different things that were occurring. I did my exercises at home, but yet when I spoke to people on the phone, I could not process some of what my thoughts were, getting them out into connecting with people. There was a disconnect. I also could not, the left side of my body wasn't working, including my hearing. And so I began to lean into the practices, lean into the physical therapy, doing it at home, lean into all of the things, and lean into my community and prayer and all of the practices. And so while it felt like there was pieces, there was also this deep connection as I leaned into those 5 pathways of intentional living. And so the spirituality aspect of it embraced me. It embraced me as I embraced it, and it became an anchor in my life as I turned inward and embraced affirmative prayer and meditation. And just simply, my prayer was a consciousness, having that consciousness of wholeness, having a consciousness of strength. And through this, I was able to begin to steady myself and allow the divine presence as me, through me, to simply shine through as I stepped into caring for myself, caring for my body, caring with each appointment, with each moment, bringing those pieces together, and caring for my soul and nourishing my soul with moments of self-reflection, with moments of simply going within, finding peace and connecting with that which in me and nurturing myself and self-reflection. It was during this time where I began to really focus on and consider what really matters, right? And slowing down my pace that was highly accelerated into a more intentional pace and focusing on the fewest things that were most significant in that matter. Now, while I would just love to share that all of this was absolutely done in a fast pace, and it was done instantaneously, we know that while peace is not a destination, it is also a process. It is also a place that we are experiencing. It's a way of being. It is a way of being. And so in December, as I was healing and I was continuing with appointments, and the pieces were coming together, and I began to experience peace and a new way of being, and a new way of being with my body temple, I received a phone call that shared the results of a recent MRI. And so the person on the phone said, well, Miss Kirkland, we had the results of your MRI, and we need to send you to a specialist at UNC. And I said, well, okay. I took a moment, my husband and myself, because we were on the phone and I had them on speakerphone, as one does, for important calls. And the lady on the call, she said, well, you have a vestibular schwannoma, and we don't treat that here. And my first question was, well, what is a vestibular schwannoma? And so she said, well, you have a brain tumor. Now, the weight of those words hit me. I took a breath and steadied myself and prepared myself for the next leg of my healing journey. Literally picked up the pieces and said, okay, let's begin this next leg of the journey. Pieces into peace, pieces into peace. And so as I began to take the steps, the intention set in. And in addition to the physical therapy, in addition to the prayers, in addition to all of the outward things that I was experiencing, I began to nourish my soul in such a way that I began to care for myself in a way that the physical therapy actually turned into physical training. So I began working out and began experiencing joy with that and experiencing peace. So I began to have an active participation in my life and my way of being. I began playing guitar, right? Began learning, began slowing down and doing the things that created that peace. So peace of mind is intentional when walking through and navigating something that may look like a storm, and peace begins, right? No matter whatever the circumstance is. And so as we take a breath and move into the next story of experiencing peace of mind in the body of our lives, let's explore what that may look like. And so, as I shared earlier, is that these stories are in no way in order. However, you may relate to giving and living from an empty cup. I found myself a few years ago, like many of us, experiencing burnout during the pandemic. Now, one might think that because we had a lot of downtime, that it would be maybe less burnout, that we would maybe do less, but I found myself doing more. I found myself giving more and living and giving from an empty cup. While I'm giving, I forgot, as most people who are caregivers or most people who are first responders or spiritual leaders, we are often giving outwardly and we forget to give to ourselves. And so I found myself depleted. And I found that I was emotionally, mentally, and physically tired and living in fragments, disconnected from my own needs. And so, we are told to be renewed in the spirit of our mind, right? And so, thinking about the story from overwhelm into peace, and you may have experienced this yourself, we're invited to take a sacred pause, to experience and lean into spiritual renewal and live with intention, resilience, and courage. And this practice of taking a sacred pause is beyond a moment of rest. It's really beyond simply unplugging. It's a deliberate act of mindfulness and awareness. And what it does is it takes us from confusion, it takes us from overwhelm to really a place of clarity and peace. And spiritual renewal is an invitation to explore these deeper aspects of our existence. This living intentionally and decelerating the pace of our lives, it invites us to consider a different way of being, actually, and to prioritize what matters. And having that courage to navigate life's intersections. And so during this time, I simply allowed myself to slow down, right? And I trusted in that divine guidance, that it was guiding me back to balance through prayer, through meditation, and just simply listening and going within. And I realized that I had to actually care for the life and the body of my life and the work that I do in the world and nourish it just as I was nourishing my body and reconnecting to the different parts of my life that included journaling. It included, just really doing less and living more and practicing a slower way of being and doing the fewest things that were significant and that mattered. Yes. And in doing so, I was able to give more. I was able to give from the saucer and not from the cup, and to make cultivated individual and intentional choices and align with the actions of my deepest values, right? And move from the state of fragments to a state of wholeness, to a state of peace. Yeah. Now, finally, we were talking about peace on earth. Now, the first two stories were about me, but this story right here is a conglomeration of peace and a conglomeration of families, many families who are living divided right now by the current political climate. Now, I don't know if this is you, or maybe if you know someone or families who are living this reality, but in this space, and especially in these next 45, I think, days that we have, many people are not seeing eye to eye. There are pieces of families where there is tension and misunderstanding and conversations that is filled with hurt. And so instead of the invitation is for us to simply to go within and to choose to imagine peace, simply to go within and to allow those moments to us to breathe and to slow down and to listen deeply to the conversations we're having with our loved ones, to extend empathy and for each of us to be heard, and little by little, what the walls that are building up between us may be able to come down, be lowered, and for peace to begin to grow. And so to bring the spiritual practices that we have to where we can have peace of mind in our own minds, to where we can have peace in the body of our lives, we can allow that to be a part of the process of connecting with one another during this time. Peace on earth begins with our willingness to extend the peace that we have within to those around us, and practice this with the relationships. And we contribute, as we do this, we contribute to the collective peace in the world. So we ask ourselves, what do we want? What is it we want when we're imagining peace in the world? What is it we want right now? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? What does it sound like? What is our experience of living this peace in the world revealed on earth right now? Beyond the rhetoric, beyond the commercials, beyond the conversations, beyond what may be occurring within our families or our conversations or even within our own mind. What does it feel like to experience peace revealed on earth right now? What is happening in our life on a day-to-day basis? How would your experience of peace in the world change? When I facilitate classes, at the end of the class, I often use and I guess you can call it a game called What If? And we would begin with what if? And so in this case, what if there was peace in the world? What if? And then we bring it into ourselves. If there was peace in the world, then this is how I would feel. And so I invite you to simply to go within and maybe make this a part of your practice and keep building on what if peace were to imagine in the world, to be in the world. What would that be? What would it look like? What would it feel like for you? And I am reminded of a prayer for world peace by Dr. Ernest Holmes. And so I share that with you now. I know there is but one mind, which is the mind of God, in which all people live and move and have their being. I know there is a divine pattern for humanity, and within this pattern, there is an infinite harmony and peace, cooperation, unity, and mutual helpfulness. I know that the mind of each person being one with the mind of God shall discover the method, the way, and the means best fitted to permit the flow of divine love between individuals and nations. I know there shall be a free exchange of ideas, of cultures, of spiritual concepts, of ethics, of educational systems, and scientific discoveries, for all good belongs to all alike. I know that because divine mind has created us all, we are bound together in one infinite and perfect unity. In bringing about world peace, I know that all people and all nations will remain individual but unified for the common purpose of promoting peace, happiness, harmony, and prosperity. I know that deep within every person, the divine pattern of perfect peace is already implanted. I now declare that each person and in leaders of thought everywhere, this divine pattern moves into action and form to the end that all nations and all people shall live together in peace, harmony, and prosperity forever. This is so now. And this was from Dr. Ernest Holmes. And so as we come to a close today, I invite you to reflect on what it means to imagine peace in your own life. And whether that is in your peace of mind, in your body temple, in the work that you are doing in the world, as you move from discord perhaps to peace, whether it's peace on earth, know that we have the power to create it in our lives through spirituality, through our values, through the 5 pathways of intentional living, and move from the fragments to feeling whole and bringing peace into every aspect of our life. Yes. And so I invite you to join me as I simply close in a short prayer. I affirm right here and right now that peace begins with me. I declare that I am a vessel of peace in my mind, body, and spirit, and I know that this is true for each of us. As we allow peace to flow through our words, actions, and relationships. As we embody peace and contribute to a world of harmony, love, and unity, we trust that peace is our natural state as we live intentionally and aligned with divine peace. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And so it is, and now it is.
And so it is. Thank you so very much, Marie. Thank you for sharing your stories and also for sharing the reading from Ernest Holmes that you finished with. People will recognize it that we've been doing that reading as different excerpts of it as our affirmations at the end. So it's just a very in the moment awareness of the one mind, just one mind. So thank you so very much for that. It was beautiful. It is now time for our conscious giving. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is sustained by the giving of our time, talent, and treasure. And this is the time every week when we offer financial support to this community so that we can continue to be a beacon of light and warmth and love in the Greater Triangle area for ourselves and for others. Together we affirm the truth that today's offering lifts this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and contributes to the energy of sufficiency on the planet. There are several ways that you can give, and they're here on your screen right now. Visit our website at www.trianglecsl.org. You can also text the word give to the following number, 919-629-9148, or you can actually mail your gift to our office at PO Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina 27519. I'd now invite you to please place your hand on your heart with your gift or an intention for yourself or your family or our community, and let's say our offering affirmation in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life.
I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life.
I give with gratitude, knowing God is my source.
I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you all so very much for your generosity. And now please be generous as we welcome back to her guitar the amazing Karen Daly.
Thank you, Josie. What a beautiful sermon. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, and above us only sky. Imagine all the people we're living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people who are living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people We're sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Have a great day, everybody.
Well, just so beautiful. You know, I know the first song you sang, you said you always want to make me laugh, but you always end up making me cry. But in a beautiful, beautiful way. So thank you so much, Karen. Okay, so if you're having some trouble figuring out how to get your pieces into peace, then we have a solution for you. We have a prayer list. And to get your prayer onto our prayer list, all you have to do is go to our website at trianglecsl.org. And on the home page, there's a button in the upper right-hand corner. If you click on that button, fill out the request form, and we'll send that out. And all of the practitioners and ministers will be praying that prayer with you. Also, if anyone would like to do a flower dedication, you can give it to whomever or whatever and whenever or however you want. Just contact Heather Abbott at info@trianglecsl.org or Rev Dusty at dustyripplemeyer@yahoo.com. Okay, and so now, as Dusty mentioned, we've been using that prayer for our affirmations, so we should all be really empowered to really see the connection between these words and the words of wisdom that we got from Reverend Dusty Marie. So this is a call and response. So I'll say go first, then it's y'all's turn. All right. So this is the excerpts from A Prayer for World Peace by Dr. Ernest Holmes. I know that there is but one mind in which all people live, move, and have their being.
I know that there is but one mind in which all people live, move, and have their being.
I know that because the divine mind has created us all, we are bound together in one infinite and perfect unity.
I know that because the divine mind has created us all, we are bound together in one infinite and perfect unity.
I am also perfectly clear that there is a divine pattern for humanity. And within this pattern, there is infinite harmony and peace.
I am also equally clear that there is a divine pattern for humanity, and within this pattern, there is infinite harmony and peace.
I know that deep within every person, that divine pattern is already implanted.
I know that deep within every person, that divine pattern is already implanted.
I affirm that each person has everything they need within them to allow harmony and peace to flow through them.
I affirm that each person has everything they need within them to allow harmony and peace to flow through them.
I proclaim the possibility of a free interchange of ideas, cultures, and spiritual concepts that allows everyone to experience the good that belongs to all.
I proclaim the possibility of a free interchange of ideas, cultures, and spiritual concepts that allows everyone to experience the good that belongs to all.
I declare that the divine pattern within each of us moves into action and form so that all nations and all people shall live together in harmony and peace forever and ever.
I declare that the divine pattern within each of us moves into action and form so that all nations and all people shall live together in harmony and peace forever and ever.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Okay. So close your eyes, and we'll one final benediction. And I know my heart is overflowing with love, overflowing with peace, overflowing with connection, overflowing with joy, overflowing with harmony. And that to me feels like what Reverend Marie was talking about. I feel it as peace flowing through me and from me and out into the world, creating that world that works for all, that is at the heart of our CSL mission. And I know, because we are all one, because we are connected, because we are this unified pattern of the divine, that is true for all of us. So yes, peace begins with me. And peace begins with everyone in our community, everyone who participated in this service, everyone who will see this sometime in the future, even everyone who just gets into our energetic presence and absorbs that and is a conduit as peace as well. So from this, I know that we will have a wonderful week, month, however much long we've got about this Pieces into Peace, where each one of us stands as the place where peace begins. And how much sweeter could life be than that? So I know that from today we go forth. We go forth to wage peace in the world, and the world will be changed because of that. And I'm so, so grateful for that. And I affirm it with our words, and so it is.
And so it is. And so it is. Thank you all so very much for joining us today. My gratitude goes out to everyone that had anything to do with our service. Thank you very much, Reverend Marie. Thank you very much, Karen. Just everything was magnificent. Ava and Heather, you made sure of that. Carol, thank you for all of your love and consciousness as we walk through this service today. And I thank you, everybody out there in internet land, whether you're watching now in this moment or watch later. I love you all very much. Have an absolutely magnificent week. See you soon. Bye.